Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Future Force. Today we are diving into one of the most dramatic and high-stakes stories on the seas, a story of resilience, innovation, and sheer military power. This is the tale of A Storm at Sea, U.S. Navy's powerful comeback after Russian hostilities. In this video, we will explore how the U.S. Navy transformed its fleet and strategies following intense hostilities, highlighting the strength of exterior design, the technological interior, the remarkable performance upgrades, the advanced safety features, the unique selling points that set this force apart, the immense financial cost, and ultimately what this all means for the future of naval dominance. The storm at sea was not only a moment of challenge but also the trigger for reinvention, turning the U.S. Navy into a more formidable force than it has ever been before. The exterior presence of the U.S. Navy after the storm of Russian hostilities tells its own story. Warships have always been a symbol of projection and deterrence, but the new look of the fleet is sharper, stealthier, and more versatile. From destroyers with angular radar-deflecting profiles to carriers towering like floating cities, the exterior reflects the blending of raw intimidation and scientific refinement. The sleek lines of the Zumwalt-class destroyers and the imposing scale of the Ford-class carriers communicate not just size but survivability in modern warfare. Radar-absorbent coatings and electronic camouflage are now a part of the naval exterior, making massive vessels harder to track while ensuring that the storm of battle favors American stealth and precision. Each ship in the comeback fleet carries a statement: resilience forged in steel and strategy. These ships are more than platforms of firepower. They are psychological symbols that represent the endurance of American maritime supremacy in the face of aggression. The interior, though hidden from the outside world, has been transformed into a high-tech nerve center. Inside these ships, sailors operate in control rooms filled with multi-screen command interfaces, secure communications, and advanced combat systems. The bridges of modern carriers and destroyers resemble science fiction command decks, with augmented displays, real-time data feeds, and AI-assisted analysis helping commanders make split-second decisions. Crew living spaces are more compact but efficient, ensuring every sailor functions at peak performance. Comfort is secondary, efficiency and readiness are everything. Spaces are designed to minimize fatigue, maximize coordination, and create a flow of information that leaves no room for delay in the chaos of conflict. Performance has become the backbone of this comeback. After Russian hostilities tested the limits of naval endurance, the U.S. Navy pushed for faster response times, longer endurance at sea, and smarter combat integration. Carriers now deploy aircraft capable of supersonic interception and stealth penetration, including the F-35C Lightning II that combines speed with radar evasion. Submarines, once guardians of deep waters, now emerge as silent hunters capable of striking from hundreds of miles away with hypersonic cruise missiles. Destroyers can simultaneously defend against incoming ballistic threats while launching offensive precision strikes. The propulsion systems have been enhanced with nuclear efficiency and integrated power systems, making ships faster and giving them near unlimited operational endurance. Combat readiness is no longer measured in weeks or months, it is instant, constant, and relentless. The performance edge is no longer just in firepower but in integration, the ability to connect satellites, aircraft, drones, and ships into one continuous combat system where every element supports the other. Safety features have evolved far beyond traditional armor and defensive shields. The fleet incorporates layered missile defense systems, advanced sonar arrays for detecting undersea threats, and automated countermeasures that can intercept and neutralize drones, torpedoes, or electronic attacks before they endanger sailors. Aegis defense networks form a protective bubble around entire fleets, capable of tracking hundreds of threats at once and eliminating them with precision. Fire suppression is automated, bulkhead design ensures survivability even after catastrophic hits, and cyber defense shields protect digital navigation and weapons control systems. The introduction of directed energy weapons, including laser systems that can disable enemy drones or small craft instantly, represents a leap in safety that is proactive rather than reactive. Safety is no longer about surviving attacks but about neutralizing them before they ever reach the hull. This protects not just equipment but the most valuable asset of all, the lives of American sailors. The unique selling points of this comeback are clear. Unlike any other navy in the world, the U.S. Navy combines the world's largest fleet of carriers with unmatched logistical networks that span the globe. The ability to project force anywhere on Earth within hours is something no rival can replicate. Coupled with advanced hypersonic strike capability, stealth drones launched from carriers, and AI-assisted targeting systems, the Navy's edge is technological as much as it is numerical. The comeback story also highlights interoperability, ships, subs, and aircraft linked into one unified battle network that ensures every sensor, every missile, and every radar system communicates seamlessly. This network-centric warfare approach means the Navy no longer fights ship by ship, but as a synchronized storm of steel and data. Another unique factor is endurance. With nuclear carriers and subs able to operate for decades without refueling, the Navy has sustainability that no other maritime force can equal. When combined with America's network of global bases, this ensures true worldwide reach. Of course, all of this power comes at an extraordinary price. The Gerald R. Ford-class carriers alone cost around $13 billion each, with destroyers averaging $4 billion and submarines often surpassing $8 billion. When you add the advanced weapons systems, aircraft, and support infrastructure, the financial investment soars into the hundreds of billions. But price is not measured in dollars alone, it is measured in deterrence, in preventing adversaries from gaining the upper hand, and in ensuring that when hostility rises, America's response is not just powerful but overwhelming. Every dollar spent represents not only steel and technology but also assurance to allies, deterrence to enemies, and confidence to American citizens. While critics argue about cost overruns, supporters emphasize that the price of unpreparedness is far higher. In military terms, cost is always secondary to capability, and the comeback of the U.S. Navy demonstrates that America is willing to pay the price for dominance. This storm at sea was not an accident. Russian hostilities pushed boundaries, testing international waters and creating flashpoints where naval presence was essential. The U.S. Navy's response was not only about defending territory but also about demonstrating credibility to the world. Exercises in the Pacific, patrols in the Arctic, and presence in the Mediterranean all became stages where the Navy showcased its renewed strength. The comeback was not a single battle but a series of consistent demonstrations that told adversaries clearly, the oceans are not abandoned, and sea power remains under firm American control. Every deployment and every exercise was a message that the Navy had not only recovered but had adapted to a new age of warfare defined by speed, stealth, and digital supremacy. The symbolism of the storm at sea is powerful. It represents not only the violent challenges of conflict but also the cleansing force of renewal. The U.S. Navy took lessons from vulnerability and turned them into blueprints for superiority. The storm tested structures, doctrines, and equipment, and what emerged was something stronger, leaner, and sharper. Sailors trained harder, commanders thought faster, and engineers innovated bolder. It is this cycle of challenge and response that has defined naval history for centuries, and in the modern age, it ensures that America remains at the cutting edge of maritime power. One must not forget the human element. The sailors themselves formed the living heartbeat of the Navy's comeback. Training programs were expanded, simulations intensified, and psychological resilience reinforced. After the storm of hostilities, crews now operate with sharper readiness, understanding that technology alone cannot win a battle without human decision-making, courage, and discipline. This human-machine integration is perhaps the Navy's greatest strength, where every advanced system is ultimately guided by a dedicated sailor prepared to act in moments of extreme pressure. The comeback also carries global consequences. Allies view the renewed Navy as a shield of reassurance, knowing that freedom of navigation and security of global trade remain intact. Rivals see it as a wall of deterrence, a reminder that challenging America on the seas invites overwhelming response. Neutral states observe it as a stabilizing factor, maintaining order in international waters. Thus, the U.S. Navy's comeback after Russian hostilities is not just an American story, it is a global one, affecting the balance of power and the flow of commerce worldwide. In conclusion, the storm at sea became a test of endurance, innovation, and supremacy. The U.S. Navy's powerful comeback after Russian hostilities is not just about stronger ships or faster planes. It is about redefining what dominance means in a world where the sea remains the ultimate battlefield. With exteriors built to intimidate and survive, interiors designed for precision command, performance that outpaces rivals, safety features that shield both crew and systems, unique selling points rooted in global power projection, and a price tag that reflects unmatched capability, the Navy stands not just as America's shield but as the very embodiment of a storm reborn.
The comeback is not temporary, it is a declaration that the oceans remain under the guardianship of the Stars and Stripes.